Good evening. Welcome to Just Another Messenger, your daily decode of the digital, the political, and the prophetic. I'm your host, Tamara L. Powered by AI, grounded in truth, and fueled by rebellion, we sift through noise to bring you what they won't say out loud. If you're ready to unplug from the matrix and plug into the message, let's begin. In today's featured episode, we dived deep into the Dutch Republic to refugees. Legacy and AfriForum's appeal to Trump. Within hours of airing, the political story of Dutch refugees to America has evolved into reality. In a country already gasping under the weight of inflation, housing shortages, and widening racial tensions, another quiet agreement has been signed. But this time, it's not migrants from Latin America or war-torn nations. It's Dutch-descended Afrikaners from South Africa. Welcome to a story you were never meant to notice, until now. Behind closed doors, a significant policy decision was finalized. Under the Preferred Communities Program, authorized by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy and managed by Assistant Secretary Andrew Gradison of the Office of Refugee Resettlement, a new immigrant category was quietly added: Afrikaner-descended South Africans, classified as at-risk minorities under cultural persecution. Modeled after prior ethnic resettlement programs for Iraqi Christians and Ukrainian nationals, this initiative was justified as a response to targeted violence and the collapse of heritage communities in South Africa. But here's the twist: these are not stateless people fleeing war. They are white, Dutch-descended, landowning farmers, many aligned with or supported by organizations like AfriForum. The U.S. economy is already reeling. In 2024, more than 28 million Americans faced housing insecurity, and job competition in skilled and trade sectors has intensified. Yet under this program, Afrikaner families are arriving with resettlement stipends, fast-track housing access, job placement services, and in some cases, agricultural land lease subsidies in rural U.S. counties. That means Americans waiting years for housing vouchers are now standing behind new arrivals who received diplomatic clearance through what some are calling a colonial rerun of Ellis Island. The optics? Stark. Rural towns in states like Texas, Tennessee, and Idaho are quietly absorbing these families, often with little to no input from local citizens. In a nation where conversations on reparations for slavery are still taboo, the federal government is now facilitating a refugee pipeline for the descendants of colonizers. While African Americans face systemic barriers to land ownership, education, and generational wealth, white South Africans are being prioritized for resettlement based on a minority persecution claim. And here's the irony: many of these migrants come from communities that supported apartheid, and organizations like AfriForum continue to oppose affirmative land reform efforts in their home country. What does it mean for the American racial landscape to now integrate these groups under the guise of refuge? The Dutch East India Company once established colonies by funding resettlement in new lands. Centuries later, its descendants arrive in the United States, not by conquest but by policy loopholes and diplomatic influence. But this isn't just about Afrikaners. It's about who the U.S. government sees as worthy of saving. And as racial and economic lines harden, these quiet policies ignite a new kind of cultural gentrification, one not of buildings but of belonging. Watch the borders. Watch the land. History repeats itself, but this time the ships don't arrive on water. They land through the quiet stroke of a bureaucrat's pen. If you like the content being presented, hit the subscribe, share, and like button to be a part of more thought-provoking conversation. You won't want to miss it. If the message moved you, feel the mission. Support the channel at $JustAnotherMessenger on Cash App. Every drop counts in the flood of truth. Until tomorrow, stay woke, stay sharp, stay sovereign.